Welcome back, everybody. I hope you guys are having a good day today. Today we're going to be playing some more Paranormasight. It looks like we've unlocked this other route here to make a different decision. And so I think you have to start here and then we can click through and make different choices. So let's start with that. Can I resume? What's the difference? How many different choices can you make? I think something's happening. Something's happening to Yoko? Is there a way to keep Yoko alive? I don't know. Oh my god, it was so nice and warm, like, earlier in the week. Yesterday it was wonderful. The day before that it was wonderful. We had our first fall spring. We usually get at least one fall spring, and that's what happened. And it's snowing now. Like, ugh. You're gonna practice. Good luck. Have fun. Somebody gonna drive her. Not unusual. R.I.P. Take care, keep driving, because I don't know. Wait, she's been mean to me as well. That's her. Damn. I've not been mean. I haven't done anything yet. Good luck. Send a video or like audio of the this song. Should we start from the beginning? I don't want to start from the beginning. Let's do... Does this make sense? I don't know. Okay, something's happening to Yoko. Whoa, what the hell? I forgot I have to be reading this out loud to you guys. It feels like the air just changed. What was that just now? Oh, okay. Yoko, are you okay? Ah! Hey, what's wrong? Stay with me. No, this can't be. No. Ah! What? Why? Yoko! Can I just, like... It's no use. She's in no condition to talk. Keep yelling her name. Huh? What? Is calling her name really going to help? I'm already yelling as hard as I can. Shouldn't I look for what's causing this? There's nothing there. Yoko, hang in there, Yoko. Look at me. You're gonna be okay. It's alright. There's nothing there. She's screaming. I'm not gonna keep screaming into the mic for you guys. Yoko! Guess, what are you talking about? Okay, so maybe this is an opportunity to, like, resurrect her? Huh? Oh, good, you're awake. What? Are you okay? You were so rattled and confused, I thought you'd really lost it. Do you feel dizzy, have a headache, or your humor's off balance? Wait, what did you say? I think I've heard that before. You're the one who said it earlier. Oh, right, that might have been it. My humors were off balance. What, back there you ended up like that because of your humors? Yeah, I've heard that at this age your humors being even a little bit off can be fatal. I'm glad you're back to normal now. Yeah, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cause you so much trouble. But I really don't remember what happened. Sounds like what happened to me. Maybe this place is dangerous somehow. Aw, hi, Miko. What? Are you backing out? Yeah, it just doesn't feel safe to me and I'm worried about you. Let's call off today's investigation. Come on, I just started feeling back to normal, too. Nope, not happening. Go home. I'll even pay for your cab fare, okay? I ended up having to force a still protesting Yoko into a taxi. Even then, she still wouldn't stop complaining. So to placate her, I promised I'd search the park on my own for a little while longer. Okay, so we can still get it with Yoko being alive. Maybe? Oh, we're like skipping a bunch. So don't use too much sarcasm. In further news... Oh! Before dawn today, a police officer on patrol discovered a man collapse in Sumida City Park. Your leg. The man was taken to the hospital, but his death was confirmed shortly after. Investigations are still underway, but police suspect a connection to the other unexplained deaths found in the area at around the same time. Creepy. Oh, did we break her? What? Is something wrong? Hi, being Brad. I'm glad you pronounced your name Leela. I'm also Chilean. I don't look it. I look particularly white. But, like, you know what? Not all Hispanics look the same. But yeah, that's why I pronounce my name Leela. Oh. Okay, we completed. That was just the prologue. Fact, some people from Spain look straight white. That's true. Well done in your efforts thus far. This brings Shugo Oki's story to a close. Well, that was quick. But this is not the end, far from it. In fact, this is where the story finally begins. The routes of the three protagonists have now been unlocked. Oh, okay. These are okay, interesting. Woman who lost her... Okay, so... Do you think that's maybe Haruhi? Maybe we'll just call her Haru. A woman who lost her son when he was kidnapped and murdered. Oh my gosh, that's crazy. Oh my god, Tetsu. The chief inspector of the 1st Investigation Division who is looking into the death of an officer in the line of duty. Okay. Oh, the schoolgirl, Yako. A high school girl who wants to bring her friend back from the dead. A girl who died in a suspicious suicide. Leela is the master of gender studies. That's true, actually. I did do, like, part of my... Fun fact, part of my urban studies, my focus is gender studies and urban development. So, anyways, I'm gonna leave for a little bye. Bye, Miko! Good luck! Oh my god, it's so cute. Okay, a high school girl who wants to bring her friend back from the dead. A girl who died in a suspicious suicide. Thank you for the follow. And Anna? Anna? Is that how you want me to call you? Keys are flirting. Oh my god. Mwah. Bye, Miko. Welcome to the garden. Ananda. Okay. Ananda. Can do. I'm bad at pronouncing everything. It's you're gonna watch me suffer through pronouncing all of this too, so I'm so sorry. Okay, so this is the girl, a girl who died in a suspicious suicide. Oh, trigger warning, guys. I might need to put a trigger warning. I didn't know there was, like, suicide in this. I can barely read it, so it's okay. Hey, MVP, if you're there, could you do me a favor and, like, maybe put a trigger warning for suicide in the caption? That might need to be a permanent... Okay, perfect. Yeah, something like that. Yes, exactly. And I would say specifically for suicide. Because, yeah, I didn't know. Yeah. Okay. Each of them is burdened with circumstances that leave them no choice but to seek the right of resurrection. Following these three storylines will reveal the full nature of all that is occurring. With that, please enjoy the continuation of this tale. Okay. Okay. Interesting. So there's no way, there's no other options for Shogo. He's dead. He's gone. Okay. Thanks, MVP. I appreciate it. It's a horror game. If you want to check out, the first episode is up on YouTube. And then I'm gonna do the second. I'm gonna edit the second in today's, probably tonight/tomorrow. You're the best, MVP. Okay, who should we should we just start top to bottom? Let's start with Haru. When the son of Haru Shigema was kidnapped, a botched investigation by the police resulted in the child's murder. 1 year later, is it, you think it's Harui or Haru? We'll go with Haru. Has hired a private investigator to help resolve the unsettled case. Late at night, while speaking to the detective at her home, something strange suddenly appears. Oh, may those who mock the fire's flame perish in flame. Kill them. Kill them. The flame bearers. Kill them all. Okay, so this is what happened when the other guy got his curse stone. You have acquired the power of the curse stone, the haunting clappers. You can use it to kill those with fire or fire starting device on their person. Press use curse button to set your targets alight. Oh my god, that's crazy. Okay. And then this is the curse's power. A murderous impulse seeps into my soul like thick black tar. Can you guys hear me well? Kill. Can you hear it, Curse Bearer? Okay, good. Loud and clear. Awesome. You who so strongly desires the right, kill them. That's intense. Haru Shigema. Shigema Mansion reception room. Okay, so is she rich? Richter. Back with me, ma'am? Oh, the detective. Michael Jackson. He's cute, though. Can't say I understand what just happened, but it certainly seems to have put you in a good mood. This might be the first time I've ever seen you really smile. Oh, she's a psycho. She's a little crazy. Oh, why is she... Sweet dreams? Oh, she's a housewife. Okay. So he resides in a manor near the bridge. Her 11-year-old son was kidnapped and murdered a year ago. The detective screwed it up, which pissed off the kidnapper, who cut off all contact with the police, didn't leave any room for negotiation. The incident was covered up, and the killer's still out there. And so she called this private investigator to figure out what really happened. The family comes from a line of samurai who built their residence in Honjo during the Edo period. They got important positions in the police force, protected their family status. Many of the line work as police bureaucrats and senior officers. Then how did they sweep this under the rug? Her father sits on like the top of the police agency. Her husband was adopted into the clan through an arranged marriage, is respected as an agency official. However, her family prioritizes work. Her marriage sucks. She doesn't want anything though, and she's isolated from her neighbors, withdrawn from society. Having a kid gave her purpose, but that was cut short because of the kidnapping incident. After the incident, she spent time in a deep depression, kind of losing her mind. She's no longer cheerful, loving, only has snide shit to say to her husband, which is so valid, which made their relationship worse. Husband is transferred to a different area and doesn't ever come home now. So she lives basically in an empty mansion and just takes care of all the housework because she's got nothing else. Oh, actually it looks like a housekeeper comes and does all the housework. So this lady has all the time in the world, basically. What's interesting to me is that, like, if the family was all police officers and stuff, and, like, they come from this long line of police, how were they able to sweep this all under the rug? That's crazy. You'd think that they would be able to raise holy hell and get it taken care of. And you like special treatment. No. Not dreams. Sorry. Sounds like something I might want to hear about. Should she? My heart's still racing. This is it, my chance, at long last. A color television. Father bought one as soon as it hit the market. He likes to have the latest gadgets. Unlike the latest models, there is no remote control. We've had it for a long time. Back when it was new, we all gathered around it and marveled at it as a family. But with Father and my husband being away so often, it quickly fell into disuse. Okay, that sucks. What's this? Well, I'll be damned. Is that what I think it is? Goodness, you made me jump. It's just a silly sticker my son got from somewhere or other. He put it up just before... Well, you know what happened. I still can't bring myself to take it down. Let me take a closer look. I knew it. It's a Honjo. From way back in set number 1. This looks like a real collector's item. Excuse me? Don't tell me you've never heard of the mockingbirds. The what? They're the hottest new craze. Cute little birds dressed up like rough and tumble delinquents. I've never heard of them, but this certainly seems to matter to you. The best part is, nobody knows who made them. They just started showing up around town, and soon enough, they'd won everybody's hearts. The story goes that they're made by some anonymous artist who covertly leaves them behind in specific locations. No one knows when or where they'll show up next. They're basically an urban legend of sorts. It's like Banksy vibes. What else is... Aww. That's a chicken. It is a chicken. It's a chicken sticker. To think one would turn up here in all places. This is a good sign. I'm sure of it. Oh. Well, that's nice. Okay. It's like these are stickers we need to collect. Okay, cool. A stereo unit with separate speakers designed for home use. My husband insisted on buying one even though he isn't one to listen to music often. An arrangement of flowers. We bring in someone to do it. I don't even know what the flowers are called. Oh. An old hanging scroll. I don't know who painted it. It's been hanging here since before I was born. A fax machine. It can send images to other places along with the telephone network. I don't really know how it works. Most houses don't have one. I rarely find a use for it. The telephone. This mansion has a private line. Okay. The lights. The chandelier is the only thing in here that's my choice. It's my favorite part of the room. That's sad. The guest table. I don't know where Father got this old thing, but I've never liked it. I think we checked everything out. A private investigator I hired. A friend told me about him. They say he's not very well known, but he's good at what he does. When I first visited his office in Otis City and saw how he dressed, I could hardly believe he was a detective. But after talking to him for a while, I changed my mind. He says some strange things at times, but he seems like the reliable sort. Okay. Oh, so he used to be a police officer, but then he didn't like how they ran things, so he became a private investigator. But he's poor! Because he takes on too many cases. Okay, he studied at the police academy. Apparently he's good at covert stuff. He likes collecting the stickers. Okay, so he leaves the office in the care of a junior high schooler who volunteered as an assistant in previous cases. Okay. Okay, so this is his agency. Let me bring you up to speed. We were in the middle of a chat when you suddenly started spacing out. And the whole time you were grinning to yourself like you just won the lottery. Care to tell me what that was all about? Well, where to start? Do I just tell him everything? Interesting. Very interesting. So the haunting clapper's curse echo appeared out of nowhere. Told you how to perform the rite of resurrection and gave you the curse you'll need to do it. Have I got that right? That's right. So it's all real. Honestly, I still find it hard to believe, but I guess I have to now. I saw that curse stone appear in your hand myself. It looked like it popped clean out of thin air. With evidence that clear, there's no denying that there's some supernatural forces at work. I don't think you quite understand. Oh? This isn't about evidence, and it isn't about belief. It's more than that. I know it's real. The moment the curse appeared, I knew everything before it even said a word. It was already there in my head as clear as day. You just knew, huh? It was etched into my soul, along with the curse's echoes, resentful memories. So I can feel it, what it was like. Dying like they did hundreds of years ago. Wreathed in flame, writhing in pain as my flesh blackens and my blood boils. I can feel it. All the agony, all the rage. It fills me with bloodlust. I think I need to kill someone. Anyone will do just as long as they're carrying fire. I see, that could be a problem. You think so? From what I know of you, I was sure you'd see it as an opportunity. The stronger the desire to resurrect someone, the stronger the urge to kill. That's how it seems to me, anyway. Good grief, talk about a spanner in the works. I say we take stock for a moment, remind ourselves where we've come from and where we're going. That might be a good idea. Okay, that's crazy work. My heart's still racing. This is it, my chance, at long last. It's kind of crazy. This is what you hired me for, ma'am, to look into your son's kidnapping last year. To uncover the truth behind the abduction and murder of Suichi Shigama. Oh yes, I remember. They never did find the one who did it. That's what I'm here about today. In fact, kind of you to let me drop by so late, by the way. I've been turning over every last stone, and I've come up with a grand total of 1 lead. So you said. As far as the police are concerned, it's a cold case, but I've managed to make some headway. I remember. You were just about to tell me. Oh, okay, so they did officially find his body floating in the river. Ugh. That's horrible. Damn. All about these mockingbird stickers. Interesting. Come here. Come lay down. There you go. If you want snuggles, you can just come lay down. I suppose there's not much point going over the kidnapping itself. No, I'm very familiar. Then I'll leave that for the files to cover and just confirm a few things about the case. The police traced the culprit's calls back to, let's see here, northern Oyoko River here in Sumida City. That's quite a wide area. That's right. In the end, they never managed to nail down exactly where the calls were coming from, but it was almost certainly the same location that Suichi was being held captive, since Suichi's voice could be heard during the killer's calls. Northern Oyoko River is quite a distance from Suichi's normal school commute. Factoring in that he was seen at school but went missing before he arrived at his house, it's likely that he was abducted by car en route to home. Maybe, but exactly. Suichi was a clever boy. He never would have gotten into a car with a stranger. That's right. I was very firm about that. I know he understood, too. I even saw him warning the other children. It's possible that they forced him into the car. The only issue there is there wasn't any witness of the kidnapping. You can't bundle someone into a car with that many students around and not be noticed. But nobody came forward to say they saw anything suspicious. So, did they target him at some other time or somewhere away from his usual route? Both of those seem like a little far-fetched. Which raises the question, how did the kidnapper pull it off? The police never managed to find an answer. In the end, they decided that the kidnapper must have just gotten lucky. Well, why not turn the problem on its head? The kidnapper managed to convince Suichi to get into their car, but how? The only thing that makes sense to me is if they were somebody that he would have reason to trust, a teacher perhaps, or a relative, or somebody else that he knew. But all of the adults Suichi knew had alibis. The police checked them all thoroughly. They did, huh? No one throws numbers at a problem like the cops. But what if it wasn't someone he knew, or rather, What if the culprit disguised themselves as a police officer? That would explain why he didn't find them suspicious. The Shigema family has close ties with the police after all. He would have had reason to trust them. You might be right. Well, and if they're just a police officer, like public servant, you would trust them anyway. That's how like a lot of other serial killers have managed, like major serial killers managed to convince or kill people, was they pretended to be cops. You might be right, but surely they couldn't have. Well, there's a problem with the theory. You'd be surprised how much police officers stand out. That's sort of the point after all. They're meant to be a visible deterrent against crime. But here's another interesting little bit of trivia I happen to know. When you ask people to imagine someone suspicious, nobody pictures women or children. Even kids who have been warned about stranger danger often subconsciously expect that danger to look like an adult man. It's fair. Besides, Suichi was the sort of boy who wanted to be a police officer when he grew up. He must have had a very strong sense of right and wrong. That's right. Wait, surely you can't mean. Now you're getting it. If, say, a young woman approached Suichi asking for help, what would he have done? Yeah, if someone like that said that they were lost and asked him for directions, would he have gotten into a car? He might have. My husband always told him that a man had a duty to watch out for women and children. You could certainly argue that that kind of attitude is outdated nowadays, but if Suichi believed it, then we might have something here. Then you think the culprit was a young woman? But it was a man's voice on the phone. Dude, there could be, like, multiple people. Get to the bath. Be safe. Have a good bath, Nico. She might have been an accomplice, yeah, babe. Or maybe she didn't even realize she was being used. If anything, that would explain why she hasn't come forward. She herself might not realize she had anything to do with the case. Oh my gosh. So the question is, did anybody see Suichi speaking with a young woman on the day of his disappearance? See, what I said about people's biases, that goes for witnesses too, and I figured that maybe if I started asking new questions, I might get some new answers. So I spent my day asking around Suichi's school route, seeing if anyone had seen something. And one man thought he had. There's a lot of reading, props to you. Yeah, these are definitely shorter videos. I try to cap these at like an hour 30-ish to 2 hours because it is a ton of reading out loud. And one man thought he had. Do you mean he saw it happen? Well, I can't say for sure yet. It turned out he wanted something from me, so he asked if we could talk in private. Flashback. No choice. Cass got me a tub pillow, sticky bottoms, and a bar installed. And panic fucking. Aw. We have a Stanley full next to you. I have half a Pepsi and a mug of turmeric ginger tea. And then the ship of turtles. I know, he and I talked about it. I was like, hey, like, when she gets back from the hospital, like, get a pillow and for the bath and, like, grippies. And he's like, I got grippies and a handlebar installed. And then I think he got the pillow after that. All right, this should do. Well, you listen, Tom. There's no one around. We can speak in confidence. Excuse me, what was your name again? Oh, that's a look. That's a whole look. Look at that look. Look at this hair. No column washer, thank you. And a hydrate, thank you. Oh, you're a real one. I love tea. This is a tea channel. Verbal and herbal. That's your go-to tea? Heck yeah. I like this one. It's from Trader Joe's. It's not like overwhelming because sometimes they can be kind of overwhelming. You know what I mean? You had tea earlier? What kind of tea did you have? Wait, something... I didn't get a notification about Twitch. Did something happen? It said 3 minutes ago? Or did I? Ugh, Cast. Shout out, Cast. Okay, so this guy's name is Jonoichi? Jonoichi? Can we call him Jono? Let's give him a short name. Yeah, I make mine fresh with some spices boiled in. Gotta love them. That's funny. I like making it fresh if I get the chance, but especially for like long nights or whatever, like when I need to quickly make a thing of tea. This is pretty good tea. Jasmine, nothing special. Fits me personally. I love jasmine. Jasmine tea is great. You know what I don't like as much, and maybe it's because I haven't had a good type of this tea, is oolong. Sometimes it just feels kind of overwhelming. I think I need to try a different type of oolong tea, though. Anyway, we'll call this guy Jono. Got it. Well, Jono, I'm all ears. Just so we're on the same page, you're a private detective investigating Suichi Shigema's kidnapping. Do I have that right? Of course. What else do I look like? How should I know what a private detective looks like? Ugh, forget it. Look, I'll tell you straight. My life is in danger. I need your help. What? Needs to be right for you? Yeah. You'll excuse me if that caught me a little off guard. Let me ask you straight. Who's trying to kill you? A student called Michio Shirashi. Interesting. A schoolgirl, eh? Sounds like you've been naughty. That's a crazy thing to say. It's nothing like that. That girl, she's a murderer. I'm the only one who knows, but I saw what she did. Michio Shirashi, I saw her kidnap Suichi Shigema. Come again? I saw her talk to him on the street and lead him away. I didn't think much of it at the time, but then he went missing. She murdered him. I'm sure of it. Or at least she's got something to do with it. That's what you're here for, isn't it? Then you can't let her get to me. If that's true, you've been sitting on some valuable information. Why didn't you tell anybody? Well, you see, if you can't explain that, I don't have any reason to believe you. I couldn't. She told me she'd kill me if I spoke a word. You're telling me a schoolgirl had you scared for your life. So you've been sitting on that all this time and you think she's coming for you now that you've spilled the beans? Yes, that's exactly it. I'm begging you, don't let her get me. Statements like that do make me want to comment. Do better game. Yeah, that was crazy. Arrest her. I'm telling you, she's a demon. Well, you seem to believe what you're saying, but it just doesn't add up. How could a schoolgirl have a fully grown man so terrified? You don't know what she can do. She'll curse me. Curse you? I'm sorry, but you're losing me here. It's true, her house, it's... Ugh, forget it, why do I even bother? You seem dubious enough to believe me, but I should have known that you'd never understand. Enough, I'll find somebody else to help me. Hey! And that's the long and short of it. I can hardly believe it. At the time, I thought his mention of curses was just crazy talk, but I'm starting to see that there might have actually been more to it. Then, if we can just find that girl. Curse or no curse, if she was with Suichi the day of the kidnapping, there's a good chance she knows something. On top of that, I did some digging on the man I spoke to. His full name is Kohei Jono. I don't know. He's a teacher at Komagata High School here in Sumida. A teacher? Then the schoolgirl is one of his students? I think that's very likely. Do I have anything else to think? No. Okay. I think I'll close my eyes and listen in silence. Yeah. Okay. Good night. Or rest. Have a good time relaxing. Okay, so about the kidnapping. We'll just keep going. At last, we've got a lead. Hopefully, it'll be the breakthrough we're looking for. Okay, so now that we've got that check mark... Oh, you guys can't see it because of the... There's a check mark there. Hold on. I'm like messing this all up. See, there's a check mark there. So now that there's that check mark, we should be able to kind of thinking maybe should I move this like over here so you guys can see better maybe? Some of the options? I don't know. We'll try it. Can't play Fast and Furious because... Nope. You have to be nice. No loud sounds. Okay, let's ask about the investigation. You know, we still need to figure out exactly what you want me to do. Tell you what, why don't I tell you what I've found, and then we can make a decision. All right. You know, we still need to figure out exactly what you want me to do. Tell you what, I'll tell you what I found, and then I'll make a decision. Okay, so that's the same thing. About the rise of... Okay. Rite of Resurrection, huh? I read about that in an occult magazine the other day. Apparently some old book showed up recently with all the gory details, and they say that the rite can be found somewhere in Honjo. I remember the first time you told me about that. It felt like my prayers had been heard. Like I had hope, real hope for the first time. Ever since that awful day, I've wondered, what if I hadn't sent him to school? What if I just paid the ransom? Not a day goes by when I don't think that if I'd done something differently, Suichi would still be alive. You can't blame yourself, ma'am. It was the culprit's fault, not yours. Though I know that won't help any. Grief is funny like that. I'm guessing that's why you're after the right. Guess I didn't need to ask. It's written all over your face. I can tell how much he meant to you. But, and this is a big but, if this right is the real deal, using it will mean killing someone and stealing their soul. Is that a problem? If it comes to that, I'm afraid I'll have to stop you. Oh, that's a shame. A shame? Huh? That's all? I thought if I'm going to be competing with other curse bearers, then your detective skills might come in useful. You realize that you're talking about ending someone's life, right? Don't you see an issue with that? I think any parent in my position would happily kill for a chance like this. That so is it. Dear oh dear, what have I gotten myself into? Yeah, he makes a good point. If it makes you uncomfortable, then you won't have to get any blood on your hands yourself. I don't need you to kill the other curse bearers. I only need you to find them. I won't be party to murder, ma'am. Not even for a client. I see. I didn't realize you were so stubborn. Let me say, though, it's not like I don't get what you're going through. As long as you're not killing anyone with your own hands, maybe I can help you out. What do you have in mind? Well, how about stealing someone else's curse stone after they've filled it with soul dregs? If that's all you were after, then I could lend you my services guilt-free. If the other curse bearers want to kill each other, that's their business. I'm not trying to be a hero here. I guess there's no guarantee a stolen curse stone will work, but we can worry about that later. Well then, I suppose we have a deal. Although, what if I stole a curse stone using my curse? Would you disapprove? That would void our contract, ma'am. Just warning you now. My. Before we go any further, why don't you tell me about that curse of yours? The haunting clappers, was it? That's one of the 7 mysteries of Honjo, if I remember correctly. That's right. The original story did happen somewhere near here, I think. I'm sure I remember hearing that. In that case, my money would be on all the curse bearers being somewhere here in Honjo. Our first move should be to narrow them down. Some of them are bound to try and come for you first. We'll need to be ready. The curses make their bearers more willing to kill, so an attack could come from anywhere. That sounds sensible. And if I remember correctly, your haunting clappers can set people on fire, but only if they have a naked flame or a lighter in their possession. Is that right? That's right. In olden times, wooden clappers were used to warn people of fire. I'm guessing it punishes those who didn't heed the warning. It seems like a good curse to have. It's simple and straightforward enough to use, although it's hard to say how it stacks up without knowing what else is on the table. You really think it's that good? The target can't do much to throw it off, and it has a nice long activation window. It's big and it works on lighters perfectly too. Or it works on lighters too. Just slip one into your target's pocket. And say that condition were already fulfilled. And say that condition were already fulfilled before they even knew you were there. They wouldn't even know what hit them. Maybe I won't actually have to use it. I could just tell someone I could, and they'd have to do what I said. Threats could work, although without proof, it'll come down to how convincing you can be. Thanks for the hydrate, Toku! Welcome in. What's for lunch? Thank you for the simi-lurk. If only you could use the curse, then back out at the last second. At the last second? What an interesting idea. I have a lighter right here. We could try it now. That's an interesting proposition. But maybe not. I'm not quite crazy enough to make myself a guinea pig. Oh, I see. You're an odd one, ma'am, if you don't mind me saying, and I don't think that's just the curse. You flatterer. That's not flattering, babe. As for what we do next, first of all, I think you should stay indoors. Try not to do anything spontaneous or outside of your normal routine. Right then, have you decided what you want me working on? Investigate the kidnapping. Finally, I have a lead. I need to know what happened to my son. Your wish is my command, ma'am. I'll focus all my efforts on looking into the kidnapping. Although, something just occurred to me. You can't investigate the matter at night, can you? At least until the sun rises, could you search for the other curse bearers? Alright, I see how it is. Well, I'd be happy to help. Odds are good that the other curse bearers are also working by night. Anyone they kill under cover of darkness won't be discovered until sunrise. I bet they'll be trying to do as much as they can before morning comes. So, it's settled then. I'll look into the other curse bearers by night. And once the city wakes up, I can start asking questions. I'll investigate the kidnapping as well. I'll even try and find Miss Shirashi as part of the bargain. Thank you. That's more than enough. Now then. I should get to work. There's only so much time before sunrise. I'll call you if I find anything new. You stay here and keep a lookout. All right. There's no telling what kind of curses you might find out on the streets tonight. Don't go outside if you can help it, and try to be ready for anything. I will. Well, if that's all, I should be going. Whew, okay. Let's do a little bit more. We'll just keep going with this. It's been almost an hour since Richter left. He promised he'd call me if anything happened, but he hasn't. So all I can do is wait and wait. Okay. The flowers put me at ease just a little, and then the hanging scroll said, that old hanging scroll, I've seen it too often to feel anything from it now. The stereo says, should I put a record on? No, it's too late for that. I'm not in the mood for music anyway. It's a fax machine. I rarely find a use for it. I don't know anybody else who owns one. I'm waiting for Richter to contact me, but he hasn't. The newspaper. What's this? A newspaper? It must have fallen off the chair. Read it. It's a newspaper. I only leave them in here for the guests. I hardly ever read them myself. I don't think I've taken time to go over one in years, in fact. Well, it's not like I have anything better to do. Look at society articles. It looks like the city's biggest problem right now is pollution. I remember how the air and water used to be even more polluted. The river was covered in scum from all the sewage and the industrial waste, and it stank so badly it'd make my eyes water. Eventually, people started getting sick, and it couldn't be ignored anymore. Fortunately, it's gotten better since then, although the air around the industrial district is still filthy with gas and smog. What's up, Frank? Thanks for the 2 months! Welcome in, buddy. How you doing? Oh. It's not clicked anymore? Rotary phone. I'm waiting for Richter. He has to contact me, but he still hasn't. Okay, so same thing. Let's keep reading the newspaper, I guess? I don't know. Maybe it's... Let me check everything else. There's nothing on at this hour. I see no point in turning it on with the television. The sticker? No other thoughts about the sticker, I guess. My husband used to complain that it was too dark, but I rather like the gloom. Okay, crazy. What else is on the newspaper? So, If there's one thing Honjo never wants for, it's horrific crimes. They found a police officer dead in a local park just the other day. A lot of my family are in the police. I hope it wasn't anybody I knew. I don't read the news anymore, not since last year. It brings back bad memories. Suicide at local high school. Oh, I remember that. A high school girl jumped off a roof about a week ago. She was bullied, I think. Or maybe it was something about exam pressure? What? But no, this can't be right. Her name. Oh, it's the girl from the high school. It can't be. She's sick, but whatever. Oh no, I'm so sorry. You want to talk about it? All sorts of articles about the current state of the economy. Now that the post-war boom has passed its peak, we're moving into the era of large corporations. About 220 to 230 yen to the dollar. Manufacturing is on the rise and exports are healthy. The dollar's down from its height and people are saying it could fall further. There's no denying how much the standard of living has improved in the past few years. It's common to own a car and television now, and the supermarkets are better stocked than ever. Must be nice. Although with everyone flocking to the city, land prices are skyrocketing. Nowadays, most people can only dream of home ownership. Same. The city center is going to be nothing but apartments before long. Not exactly what a business... I'm not exactly a businesswoman, so all this feels like another world to me. Now that everyone has more spending money to go around, people are coming up with all kinds of new diversions. It seems like only yesterday that people were flocking to the arcades to shoot aliens, but now we have this enormous theme park and gaming machines that plug straight into our televisions. Everyone's talking about superhero series, foreign films, and movies based on the latest bestseller. Back in my day, fusion rock and folk music was all the rage, but now it's all about city pop and idols. I find it hard to care about that sort of thing anymore. I hear the new big thing is some mascot line of delinquent birds, mockingbirds, I think it's called. Was that what Richter was talking about? Trends seem to have such short shelf lives now. Girl, it gets worse. Because what, this is the 80s, I think, because the kid was born in like the 70s. With how quickly the times are changing, I think I'm just too old to keep up anymore. It's young people who are leading the way with their modern worldviews. My generation will only fall further behind. My goodness. Everyone attends high school now, even girls. Universal education policy, they call it. The country's gotten rich enough that every child can go to school. Education is the backbone of modern society. If you want to work for a good company, you have to get into a good university. With more people in the running than ever, the competition to get into those universities has gotten fierce, though. The new generation is rebelling. Schoolyard violence and delinquency are on the rise. But my boy was too sensible to get mixed up in any of that. I don't want to read anymore. It'll only remind me of him. I don't really watch much television. It feels as if all the information in the world gets passed through that little black box, but Father stopped them from reporting on the kidnapping back when it happened. I was glad about that. Less fuss. Now the comedy boom is over. All the comedians are flocking to other genres. The occult seems really popular at the moment. Look at all these paranormal specials. Okay, so that's... I guess that's kind of more about the world that we're kind of in. I've made sure that the receiver is on the hook. It'll ring as soon as he calls. Okay. There we go. Ah! That must be him. Hello, Shigama residence. Richter called me out to meet him, and we came here to the bridge. Richter, there's something I need to tell you. Funny, I was just thinking the same thing. Standing around is the last thing I want to be doing right now. This is my only chance to bring back my son. I can't afford to fritter it away. We're on Komagata Bridge over the Sumida River. There's a highway on one side and a freeway on the other, but they're both deserted this late at night. Okay. The Sumida River. The water is filthy and horrid, but at night when it's still, it almost looks peaceful. Can I ask you something, ma'am? The Sumida River is what you Honjo folks picture when you think of home? I couldn't say. All I can tell you is that I can hardly stand the sight of it. Right. Should have guessed. Yeah, didn't her son, wasn't he found in this river? Yeah, this is where they found him after he went missing, all alone floating in that horrible water. All I can think is how scared he must have been, how cold he must have been. What did he ever do to deserve something so awful? I've come here every day since then. And I prayed to the river to give him back. To give me back my son. Day after day after day. You know, in olden times, people believed rivers marked where our world would meet the next. So the act of crossing water, flowing water, had a huge amount of spiritual significance. Back when Edo was founded, the people of Chuo saw the Sumida River the same way. They associated the far side of the river with the afterlife. The same place would later become Honjo. All their fear and revulsion accumulated there and took rot. But then the bridge sprang up after the Great Fire, and just like that, Honjo was part of the big city too. And as it turned from farmland into a town, the people surrounded it with man-made rivers and crisscrossed it with canals and waterways. Weren't those to prevent flooding? That's what I was told. They were, but that's not all they were for. Their other purpose was to contain all the corruption that had built up on the far shore. And stop it leaking through our side of the Great Divide. Thanks for the stretch, Toku! Gotta touch grass and run errands. Good luck, have fun! Have a great rest of your day. It was good to see you. Officially, they were a physical barrier, but unofficially they were a spiritual one too. So if I have this right, are you saying that Honjo is a place where the real world meets the afterlife? Exactly, that's why the rite of resurrection is here rather than anywhere else. I'm sure of it. And it's probably why the 7 mysteries and their curses have survived to the modern day. And I guess that would make this the spot we're standing now, right over the water, the border between life and death. If there was ever a place where bringing back the dead might be possible, I reckon it's here. It's funny that you mentioned praying to the river. That might have been done more than you think. Is that supposed to make me feel better? Just thinking aloud, ma'am. Well, it's a nice thought. Oh, that's right. There's one more memory I have of this river. Do you mind if I tell you? Go ahead. It must have been about 20 years now, when I was still a schoolgirl. Back then, the Sumida River was much filthier than it is now. It was full of garbage and industrial discharge. It was scummy and slimy, and it stank. You could look out over the water and see dead cats and dogs and pigeons just floating. And one day, among all the filth and garbage, there was a piece of my missing classmate's hand. What? It was almost a miracle when you stopped to think about it, that there was a the chances that someone, what were the chances that someone would find a part of her that was still recognizable? And that although everything but the palm had rotted away in the water, the part that was left would have an identifiable scar, and that they could tell it had been a murder from the blade marks on the bone. Wait, are you talking about the Nijima murders? So you've heard of it. I'm impressed. I assume you were but an elementary schooler at the time? I wasn't really aware of it then. I only heard about it after the fact. I had no idea the victim was a classmate of yours. What's up, Swift? The game's going well. How you doing, buddy? Wow, okay, that's disgusting and horrible. Only the victim's head. And part of her leg? Ugh. Oh. Oh my god, that's foul. What a horrible way to kill somebody. Ugh. Oh. This is the guy. He looks like a basement dweller, doesn't he? To be honest, it was all a bit of a blur. A wave of chaos just parting around me. Something like that. They say the rest of her body must have sunk to the bottom of the river. They combed the riverbed, but they only ever found pieces. Everything else must have rotted and flowed out to sea. Afterwards, I heard that all the divers who had been looking for her fell ill. A sorry story for everyone involved, huh? It's funny, everyone figures that the river's filthy already, so one more piece of garbage won't hurt. But every little bit makes it worse. It's a vicious cycle. I know I wouldn't want to go around rooting down there myself. That's right, which is why the riverbed is the last place anybody would go looking. Or so was the killer's thinking, I suppose. The times were changing quickly back then. Things were confusing. Everyone seemed to be in a hurry. Young people were moving to Tokyo in droves. Some even ran away from home to make it in the big city. And they made easy targets for bad people. A lot of them ended up disappearing without a trace. You see, back then, if you chopped up a body into tiny pieces and threw it in the river, it would rot quickly and discreetly and sink to the bottom, never to be seen again. Are you saying what I think you're saying? They arrested him shortly after. Fumichika Nejima, the man who killed my classmate and cut her into pieces. He was so methodical about it, it couldn't have been his first crime. And people began to wonder how many other girls he'd murdered the same way. The police never found any evidence of other murders in the end. But the river knows the truth. How many corpses has it swallowed up over the years, I wonder? That same thought spread through everyone's mind, and they started to avoid this area. So, really, the river has been rank with corruption for decades now. Or at least, that's how it seems to me. Well, was that interesting? Well, I can see why you don't have any good memories of this river. With all that darkness lurking beneath the surface, there's no reason that you would. Still, if I may, ma'am, I'm surprised you know so much about the Nijima murders. But how could I not? After all, I was the one who found the hand. The police actually wrote me a thank you letter. They said it was only thanks to me that they managed to bring Nejima to justice. That was the only time my father ever said he was proud of me. Huh. I guess it just wasn't the killer's day. Sometimes I wonder if he resents me for it. That's crazy. The Sumida River. I have nothing but awful memories of it. Just want to check to make sure we're not missing anything else. There's something I need to tell you. What's up? Well, that girl, Michio Shirarashi, the one who was with Suichi on the day of the kidnapping, that's her. Well, she's dead. She's what? The student who committed suicide last week. That was her. I heard something like that had happened. Never got the name, though. Talk about bad luck. We finally get a lead only to find it's turned into a literal dead end. Unless her death was the whole reason Junochi was so shaken up. He said she was going to curse him. Was he talking about her taking revenge from beyond the grave? It seems like we're back where we started. Not necessarily. That teacher knows something. I'm sure of it. At the very least, I'd put money on him having something to do with Miss Shirarashi's death. That's why he's so scared of being cursed by her. I see. And also, something tells me he knows more about your son's kidnapping. In any case, I think I've got a good idea of what he's hiding. Call it a hunch. A hunch? Well, more of a theory. Care to take a guess? I couldn't say. I'm just an ordinary housewife. I'm not clever enough for all of this. Are you sure? I had you down for sharper than that. That's flattering, but I'm afraid you're mistaken. Anyway, that's enough speculation for now. The truth will out in time. Right now, I think we need to have another chat with Mr. Jono. Please, go ahead. Alright then, I've been poking around places connected to the 7 mysteries looking for curse bearers, and I think I found a few candidates. First, a tall man I ran into in the park. I asked him for directions, trying to probe him a little, but he turned the questions right back around on me. He was out of there the second he figured out I wasn't what he was looking for. I got the sense curses were nothing new to him. I'm about 40% sure he's a curse bearer. Then there's a middle-aged guy I saw in the South Street. There's no question about this one. He had one of the curse stones in his hand. He had a nervous air about him, too. It was clear he was up to some shady business. Okay, so this was the guy that, like, we had the lighter, I think, and we got away from him. Gathering soul dregs, I bet. He'd make a good target. Next up is a pair, a young man and a woman I saw around the bridge. This time, the man came up to me and asked me flat out if I was a curse bearer. I told him I didn't know what he was talking about, and then he backpedaled and left. Looks like they lurk around there often looking for kindred spirits, would be my guess. Though it didn't seem like they were quite working as a pair. Gathering soul dregs in a group might be a decent idea if you could make it work, but the thing with how they are is it's gotta be hard to find folks one can trust. They've got brass, though. I don't know what their deal is, but I'd like to find out. Last is 2 detectives I've seen sniffing around. The police are involved? Not necessarily. A body turned up in a local park a few days ago, so that might just be looking into that. Still, the park's got ties to one of the 7 mysteries. Might be it was a curse that did the guy in. If they're sending in detectives from the head office, then something's gotta be up. How do you know where they're from? Let's just say that when you're in this business, there are some faces you get to know. Anyway, that's everyone who caught my eye. You found them all in so little time? I really did hire the best. It's all in the name, ma'am. Richter Kai, PI. No, wait. Make that Richter Kai investigator extraordinaire. My, an investigator extraordinaire. Is that why you can dress like that without drawing attention to yourself? You bet. An investigator extraordinaire can blend in like a chameleon in any outfit. Well, that aside, the middle-aged man and the young couple sound the most promising, am I right? Whichever we pick, it's still too early to make a move. It seems like the curse bearers are less involved with each other than we thought. Plus, there's still others we don't know about. I say we hang fire and see how things play out. Once more bodies start showing up, that'll get the pot nice and hot. And once the pot is boiling, our chance will come. Is something wrong? Not really. It just struck me. It's been 20 years since the Nejima murders. So it has. Not to spook you or anything, but I thought you might be interested in knowing. Life in prison doesn't always mean life. The precedent for first-time offenders being allowed out on parole after... There's a precedent for first-time offenders being allowed out on parole after 20 years. Only if they're found to show remorse and the desire to reform themselves, of course. That's right. I'm impressed you know so much. Still, it's hard for someone with a criminal record to reintegrate into society. I hear they've been trying to fix that recently, matching inmates with jobs and accommodation. Oh, really? They keep an eye on them, of course. They make them report in for regular checkups, but to avoid discrimination, they keep the inmates' records in secret from everyone but their employers. They even give particularly notorious criminals new identities so they won't be recognized in the workspace. My, the way you put it, it's like you're saying Fumich, the Nejima guy, could be out on parole right now. Back in society under a new name with nobody any the wiser. It's possible. As it happens, a little birdie told me about a big name making parole a few months back. I don't know if it was Nejima, but our discussion just now did bring it to mind. I see. How unsettling. Now that you mention it, I just remembered something too. What was it? I was passing the high school a little while ago when I saw someone. A janitor, I think. I could have sworn he reminded me of Nejima. Oh? He looked a little different after 20 years, much thinner than I remembered too. I told myself I was just seeing things. But perhaps it was him after all. So, what next? The big question now is what the rest of the curse bearers are up to. Luckily, the Sumida River is a good distance from any of the 7 mysteries. It's unlikely that the other curse bearers will come all the way here. I can finally have a moment to think. I see. All right. Okay, so I can't progress any further, I guess. Okay, so I have to do other things to come back to this, it looks like. This is a good spot to save, though. Awesome, awesome. Okay, guys. Miko, I'm bored. Am I boring you, Miko? Ugh. Oh my gosh, thank you for the gifted sub, Frank. Enjoy the emotes, Miko. I appreciate it. Oh, I hope you guys had a good time. For those of you guys who are watching on YouTube, I'll see y'all later. Bye!